Daddy was this 6'2" caramel skinned man with these almond shaped thighs and what his little girl thought were giant hands. Daddy was the man who sang his little girl to sleep with his musical charms. Daddy was the man who always let his little girl sleep in his arms. Daddy was the man who taught his little girl about princesses, princes, and knights with swords. Daddy was the man who promised his little girl the world. Daddy was the man who made his little girl's heart turn cold. See, Daddy was the man who had a double life. Daddy was the man who had a home with a loving child and wife. But on the side, Daddy was the man who had someone else. Daddy was the man who had no idea how his little girl felt. Daddy was the man who made his little girl cry every night. Daddy was the man who was never in sight. Daddy was the man who made his little girl believe no one could be trusted. Daddy was the man who made his little girl feel so disgusted. Daddy was the man who made his little girl believe she was the reason he never came around. Daddy was the man who made his little girl's world come crashing down. Daddy was the man who was gone for almost 12 years. Daddy was the man who missed out on his little girl's smiles and tears. Daddy was the man who was replaced. Daddy was the man who left his little girl in a world where she felt so misplaced. Daddy was the man who made his little girl suffer for years. Daddy was the man who made his little girl cry for a decade. Daddy's little girl stands before you now as a woman, learning to battle with her past in order to move forward to her future. Daddy's little girl has something to say. I went through my whole childhood, crying and begging for you to come back and rescue me, but I came to realize I wasn't the problem. You were. You chose to leave your firstborn behind. I've grown stronger because of the sacrifices my mother made for me, the sacrifices that you were supposed to make. My mother is my father. I don't despise you, but I thank you for leaving me, because if you didn't, I probably wouldn't be as strong as I am today. You taught me that even those closest to you can stab you in the back and betray you in a way that no one could ever begin to describe, to understand. You had become a figment of my mind, and as of today, you're just another man who walked into my life, then right back out. So I thank you for leaving me behind.